You love your dog, spend time playing with them, provide enough food, and take them for walks every day. But are you sure you're taking care of them the right way? According to research from Bristol University, over 70% of dog owners make at least one mistake in caring for their dogs without realizing it. Some seemingly harmless actions, such as pulling on the leash during a walk, yelling at them when they misbehave, or even petting them incorrectly, can negatively affect both their physical health and mental well-being. In today's video, we will explore 16 of the most common mistakes dog owners make, and how to fix them to keep your furry friend happy and healthy every day. Especially mistake number 8, which 90% of dog owners unknowingly make. Let's start with the first mistake, a simple action that can have a major impact on your dog's health and mental state. You've probably pulled on the leash while walking your dog before. It's an unconscious reaction when trying to control their direction or simply when they pull too hard forward. But did you know that this action can cause serious harm? Imagine you're walking, and suddenly someone yanks your collar from behind. The choking sensation, the sharp pain, and the unexpected force throw you off balance. Your dog experiences the same feeling every time their leash is jerked, except they can't tell you how it feels. Research has shown that forcefully pulling on the leash can damage the trachea, compress blood vessels, and harm the spine. This is particularly dangerous for small breeds like pugs, chihuahuas, and poodles, where the pressure can cause a collapsed trachea, leading to breathing difficulties or chronic coughing. Some dogs may even develop early arthritis or cervical spine injuries if they are frequently pulled too hard. But physical harm isn't the only issue. Pulling on the leash also creates a negative association with walking. Some dogs may become anxious every time they see the leash, staying close to their owner out of fear of being yanked. Others may become aggressive, subconsciously associating the leash with something they must resist. Have you ever noticed your dog hesitate when they see you pick up the leash? Or seem reluctant when you're about to take them outside? This could be a sign that they no longer look forward to walks because they associate it with discomfort. If you have a habit of pulling on the leash during walks, try changing your approach today. Use a harness instead of a collar to reduce pressure on your dog's neck. When they pull too hard, instead of yanking the leash, stop and wait for them to adjust naturally. Use a longer leash to give them more freedom to move. When they walk properly without pulling, praise them immediately so they understand this is the behavior you want. It will take time for your dog to adjust to this new way of walking, but once they feel comfortable and stop fearing the leash, you'll notice a significant difference. Small changes can make a big difference. If you want to help your dog live a happier life every day, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next helpful tips. But if you think that pulling on the leash is the only way dog owners unintentionally stress their pets, think again. Another common action, often mistaken as a form of discipline, can actually cause serious psychological harm. Yelling at your dog when it misbehaves. Everyone has probably yelled at their dog at least once, when it chews on furniture, barks excessively, or ignores commands. It's a natural reaction when you feel frustrated or want to correct unwanted behavior. But there's one crucial thing many people don't realize. Dogs don't understand that you're scolding them for something they did in the past. Imagine you accidentally drop a glass, and a few minutes later, someone walks into the room and starts yelling at you. You would feel confused, unsure of what you did wrong, or even scared. Your dog feels the same way. If you scold them for a mistake they made 5 minutes ago, they won't connect their past action to the punishment. Instead, they only sense your negative emotions. Dogs that are constantly yelled at tend to become more timid, avoid eye contact with their owners, or even start growling or barking back. Instead of learning from their mistakes, some dogs become fearful of their owners. lose trust, and stop enjoying activities they once loved. Instead of yelling, try controlling your tone of voice. When your dog misbehaves, use a firm but calm voice and immediately guide them toward an appropriate action. For example, if they are chewing on shoes, give them a chew toy instead and praise them when they shift their attention. Dogs don't learn through fear, but through proper guidance. Just like yelling can make your dog lose trust in you, another behavior can cause unexpected psychological damage, ignoring their fears. Have you ever noticed your dog being scared of something that seems harmless to you? It could be a vacuum cleaner, a thunderstorm, or even a random object in the house. While humans might see this as amusing, for dogs, it is real stress and anxiety. Many owners laugh when they see their dog acting fearful or even intentionally provoke their fear for entertainment. Some move the vacuum cleaner closer just to see the reaction, while others clap loudly when the dog startles. But dogs don't understand these jokes. All they know is that you are encouraging the thing that scares them. When a dog feels unprotected, they find their own ways to cope. Some may withdraw and become more fearful, while others may react aggressively to defend themselves. Instead of teasing them, help them gradually overcome their fears. If your dog is scared of an object, allow them to approach it from a distance first, then slowly bring it closer while rewarding them with praise and treats. This will create a positive association instead of reinforcing fear. Dogs can be afraid of many things, but there's one fear even worse than any object or sound: the fear of being abandoned. You might think that dogs can play alone all day, but in reality, dogs are pack animals. They don't understand why you leave them behind, and they don't know whether you'll come back or not. This uncertainty can cause more anxiety than you might expect. Have you ever come home to find chewed-up furniture, rugs dragged across the floor, or your dog howling and barking non-stop? This isn't a sign of mischief or deliberate destruction. It's a symptom of separation anxiety. When left alone, dogs can panic, and to cope with their emotions, they might chew on things, dig, bark excessively, or even have accidents indoors, despite being fully house-trained. But not all dogs express anxiety through destructive behavior. Some dogs become depressed, losing interest in things they once enjoyed. They move less, wag their tail less, and may even lose their appetite. These subtle signs are even more dangerous because they show that the dog has resigned itself to feeling abandoned. Have you ever noticed your dog getting anxious when you grab your keys or put on your shoes? This is because they've learned that these actions mean you're about to leave. And if you've ever returned home to find your dog ecstatic, jumping on you, or running around excitedly, it's not just because they missed you. It's because they endured a period of intense anxiety while you were gone. If you often leave your dog alone for long hours, help them feel safer and more comfortable by creating a familiar environment with things to keep them entertained. Treat stuffed toys, chew toys, or even a piece of clothing with your scent can help them feel less lonely. If possible, leave on some soft music or the TV to create the illusion of someone being home. Most importantly, never leave suddenly. Instead, gradually train them to be alone by stepping out for short periods first and slowly increasing the duration. Dogs don't need you to be home all day, but they do need the reassurance that you'll come back. When a dog constantly feels abandoned, it can lose its joy for life, and that's far worse than any destructive behavior they might exhibit. Another common mistake: holding your dog too tightly when they want to leave. Not only do dogs experience separation anxiety, but many of them also suffer from stress when they're physically restrained against their will. A problem many owners don't realize. Have you ever held your dog tightly because they were too cute to let go? Or maybe restrained them when they got scared of a stranger, thinking it would calm them down? While this may seem like the right thing to do, it can actually be one of the most stressful experiences for your dog. Dogs aren't like humans. They aren't used to forced physical contact when they don't want it. When a dog feels trapped, they may react in different ways. Some struggle to escape, some freeze in fear, and some may even bite to defend themselves. Some dogs start avoiding hugs, not because they don't love you, but because they've learned that every time they are held too tightly, they can't break free. If your dog has ever yawned, licked their lips, turned their head away, or tensed up when you hugged them, that's a sign they were uncomfortable. Instead of forcing physical contact, let your dog decide when they want affection. A dog that truly enjoys being hugged will rest their head on you, lean into you, or gently nuzzle your hand. Respect their personal space, and your bond will be stronger. One of the most overlooked mistakes: not realizing your dog is getting old. Even if you do everything right, there's one mistake many owners make out of unawareness: failing to recognize that their dog is aging. An old dog isn't just a slower version of a young one. As they age, their body changes significantly, but not everyone notices. Some dogs start moving more slowly, sleeping longer, and losing interest in activities. Instead of recognizing these as natural signs of aging, many owners mistakenly assume their dog is just lazy. The truth is, senior dogs often suffer from pain they can't express. Arthritis, joint pain, and spinal degeneration can make movement difficult. But because dogs don't complain, many owners fail to notice their discomfort. Another commonly overlooked sign of aging is declining vision and hearing. One day, you may call your dog's name, and they don't react as quickly as before, or they startle more easily when someone approaches. This isn't them being stubborn or ignoring you. They may actually be losing their senses and need more patience from you. To help your senior dog live comfortably, adjust their environment and care routine. A softer bed to cushion their joints, a lower fat but nutrient-rich diet to maintain a healthy weight, and shorter but engaging walks can all make a huge difference in their quality of life. Most importantly, spend more time with them. One day, you'll realize that the moments you share are more valuable than anything else. Another common mistake: taking away your dog's toys or food. Too suddenly, but aging isn't the only thing to be aware of. Some behaviors can directly affect your dog's mental state without you even realizing it. One of them is taking away your dog's food or toys too suddenly. Imagine you're enjoying a meal or playing with your favorite item, and suddenly, someone snatches it from you. How would you feel? Annoyed, frustrated, or even angry? Dogs feel the same way. Many people have a habit of taking away their dog's food or toys abruptly, without considering how it affects them. Some do it to assert dominance, while others simply want to test their dog's reaction. However, if this happens too often, it can lead to resource-guarding behavior, where the dog becomes protective of its food, growls when someone approaches its bowl, or even bites when feeling threatened. Have you ever seen your dog carry its toy to a corner and guard it anxiously? Or growl when you reach for their food? These are signs that your dog fears losing important resources. Dogs don't guard food and toys out of greed, but rather because they feel insecure. And once a dog develops resource-guarding behavior, it becomes very difficult to correct. Instead of forcefully taking things away, teach your dog that giving something up leads to a reward. If you need to take a toy away, offer a treat and gently ask them to drop it before giving the toy back, so they learn that letting go doesn't mean losing something forever. If you need to clean up their food bowl, don't do it while they're still eating. Instead, wait until they're finished, then call them away before removing it. A dog that knows its food and toys are secure will always feel more relaxed and trusting. Instead of snatching things away from your dog, teach them that letting go doesn't mean losing it, but it could lead to a better reward. When you need to take a toy from your dog's mouth, give them a treat and gently ask them to release it. Then return the toy so they understand that you are not taking it unfairly. If you need to clean their food bowl, don't do it while your dog is still eating. Let them finish eating calmly, then call them away before cleaning up. A dog that understands that no one will take their food will always feel safe and won't react negatively. But even if you've made your dog feel safe with its food and toys, there's another mistake many people make, which is related to dog hygiene care, specifically bath frequency. Some people think that the more baths a dog has, the cleaner and healthier they will be. But the truth is, bathing too often can harm the dog's skin and fur because it washes away the natural oils that protect their body. A dog's skin is different from human skin. While humans can bathe daily without it affecting their body, dogs need to maintain a layer of natural oils on their skin to protect their fur from dirt and bacteria. If you bathe your dog too often, especially with harsh shampoos, this oil layer gets washed away, leaving your dog's skin dry, irritated, and their fur loses its natural shine. On the other hand, if you wait too long to bathe them, dirt, excess oils, and bacteria can build up, causing odor and skin issues like dermatitis or fungal infections. So, how often should you bathe your dog? Depending on the breed, the ideal frequency is every 4 to 6 weeks. If your dog gets dirty after a walk, just wipe their feet and belly with a damp cloth. There's no need for a full bath. But the problem isn't just about bathing. There's another mistake many people don't realize, and that is how they communicate with their dog on a daily basis. Have you ever talked to your dog as if it understands every word? Maybe you've said, "You've stolen food again, huh? How many times have I told you not to do that? Stop barking, I'm busy. There's no one here. Why are you making such a fuss?" Dogs can hear your voice, but they don't understand long sentences like humans. For them, long sentences are just a series of incomprehensible sounds, and they can only grasp a few familiar words within them. When you talk too much, your dog will lose focus and won't be able to connect words with actions, making training less effective. Instead of saying, "I told you not to take food off the table," just say, "No," or "back up." A short, clear command will help your dog understand quickly and follow the instruction more easily. But even when you've learned how to communicate effectively with your dog, there's one more thing many people do unknowingly that can harm your dog's mental health: suddenly waking them up. Dogs, like humans, have deep sleep stages where their bodies fully relax and their brains process information. If they are suddenly woken up, dogs may startle, become scared, or even instinctively react by biting. If you have an older dog, this is even more important. Older dogs may experience hearing or vision loss, which makes them react more strongly when suddenly awakened. Instead of touching the dog to wake them up, gently call their name or make a soft sound from a distance to help them gradually wake up. This helps them feel safer, avoiding panic or defensive reactions. Dogs need not only physical care, but also respect for their personal space and how they perceive the world. A dog treated properly will always feel safe, trusting, and more connected to its owner. But even if you understand all of this, there's still one mistake many people overlook: the way they walk their dog and allow them to explore freely. Have you ever noticed your dog wanting to change the route during a walk, but you keep pulling them in the direction you want to go? If so, you may be taking away one of their greatest joys: exploring the world through scent. We will continue to explore this in the next section, so you can understand better how to help your dog truly enjoy life in the way they desire. Dogs not only see the world with their eyes, but they also sense everything through smell. When walking, each corner, tree, or path contains hundreds of interesting traces for the dog to explore. But many people unknowingly pull the leash to make the dog follow a fixed route, not allowing them to stop and sniff around. For humans, walking is simply a physical activity, but for dogs, it's much more than that. Walking helps dogs exercise, but it's also a way for them to gather information about the world. When a dog stops to sniff a tree, they're not just smelling a simple scent, they are reading a story. Who was here before? Another dog? A cat? A squirrel? Some dogs enjoy changing their walking route, but their owners always pull them back to the familiar path, denying them the opportunity to explore the world in their own way. When restricted like this too many times, dogs can start to feel bored or lose interest in walks. If you want to walk your dog properly, give them time to freely sniff around. Use a longer leash so they can move more freely, and if they want to stop for a bit, give them the opportunity to do so. A dog allowed to explore freely will always enjoy their walks much more than a dog pulled along by their owner's wishes. But not all mistakes are related to how you walk your dog. Another behavior that many pet owners unknowingly encourage when their dogs are young but later face major problems with is allowing the dog to play with hands like a toy. When dogs are puppies, it might seem adorable when they gently bite your hand while playing. Many people even intentionally offer their hands for the dog to nibble, thinking it's a harmless game. But over time, dogs learn that your hand is a toy, and as they grow with stronger jaws, this habit can turn into a serious problem. An adult dog cannot distinguish between playing and causing harm. They might accidentally bite too hard, hurting you or those around you without any ill intent. This is especially dangerous with children, as playful biting can cause fear or even leave a mark. To avoid this, never use your hands to play with your dog like this, even when they're young. Instead, use appropriate toys, such as balls, ropes, or chew toys. If the dog bites your hand during play, stop interacting immediately so it understands that this behavior is not acceptable. Once the dog learns that hands are not toys, it will automatically adjust its behavior and no longer reflexively bite when excited. Not only playtime, but also another mistake affecting your dog's psychology is forcing them to wear clothes that don't suit their actual needs. You might think dressing your dog is a way to keep them warm or make them look cuter. But the truth is that not every dog needs to wear clothes. Dogs have a better ability to regulate their body temperature than humans. Breeds with naturally thick coats like Huskies, Alaskans, or Samoyeds typically don't need clothes in winter because their fur is thick enough to keep them warm. On the other hand, if you put them in a thick or tight outfit, they might become too hot, uncomfortable, and unable to move freely. In fact, some dogs feel so constricted that they refuse to move when wearing clothes. If you notice your dog standing still, licking its lips repeatedly, or trying to pull the outfit off, that's a sign they are uncomfortable with the clothes you put on them. However, some dogs truly need clothes, especially short-haired breeds like Chihuahuas, Dobermans, or Greyhounds when the weather is cold. If you live in an area with harsh winters, putting on a light, not too tight sweater will help keep them warm. It's important to observe your dog's reactions. If they move comfortably and don't try to remove the clothes, it's likely they're fine. But if they're stressed, unwilling to move, or showing signs of discomfort, it's best not to force it. And finally, there's a mistake that few people think about, but it can actually break the bond between you and your dog, stopping them from looking at you. Have you noticed that your dog constantly watches you, no matter what you're doing? When you're sitting on the couch, they look at you. When you move in the kitchen, they follow your every movement. Some people find this annoying and try to break the dog from this habit. But in reality, when a dog looks at you, it's not random behavior. It's a deep instinct developed over thousands of years of evolution. In the wild, members of a wolf pack observe their leader to understand their mood, behavior, and predict the next action. Domestic dogs do the same with their owner. When a dog looks at you, it's not just curiosity. It's trying to understand your emotions, seeking signals from you, and building a connection. A study has shown that when dogs and their owners make eye contact, both experience a rise in oxytocin levels, a hormone that helps strengthen relationships and create a bond. This means that every time your dog looks at you, they are not just observing, they are building trust and love with you. Instead of stopping your dog from looking at you, take advantage of this to strengthen the relationship between you two. When your dog looks at you, try smiling, praising them, or simply gently petting their head. These small actions will help create a stronger bond, making your dog feel safer and more loved. Do you realize you've made these mistakes? If so, don't worry. You can start changing today to make your dog happier. Have you tried applying any of these methods? Share your experience in the comments. And if you found this article helpful, don't forget to follow to keep up with more valuable content.